Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Gamers Parley. It's actually been a very long time. We haven't had a proper video out. Some personal stuff happening in life. Life just got a little busy. But the good thing is we're back. So that's always a good thing. And today with me, I have a rare combo. We've had Ashler with Johnny. We've had Devesh with Johnny. Never had Ashler and Devesh together in a long time. So yeah, welcome guys. How you guys been?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I've been pretty busy for a long while now, and I'm just getting back to gaming because this is for the first time in maybe a decade or so that I've been not gaming so much or as much as I would have wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and one of the things that I'm looking forward to, of course, is the next part of the game, Death Stranding. So yeah,
That's
waiting on
cool.
the beach.
I know, waiting on the beach. What about you, Ashler? What have you been up to?
Oh gosh, uh, looking at the new video is the main thing I think I've been doing. That and then kind of poking my head into the subreddit.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. I've been on the
um,
subreddit quite a bit as
Mm.
well.
yeah,
I love the community over there. It's like
yeah,
the Kojima fans are as crazy as Kojima. They just go so freaking deep into
right.
anything that he puts out, and they're just like getting to the root of everything and just all these theories and stuff. It's even the fan art on that subreddit is fantastic. Some of the stuff that we do, I've
Mhm.
yeah, I've been doing that as well. Did you guys already pre-order the game?
Not yet on my end. Have you?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah, my order.
I got the digital deluxe, so
Yeah, me too.
because
Yeah,
2 days
that's
early, who would
yeah.
want to
Yeah,
miss that?
That's what I plan on doing.
they got the
Yeah, exactly. But no, man,
yeah.
the new trailer, man, what a trailer, right? Kojima, no one does trailers quite like Kojima. I remember me and Devesh were like we've been talking for the past few years. Actually, every time there's some kind of news coming up for that Stranding, we're speculating, oh, we might see this, we might see that, but that guy somehow just
Yeah, we
ends
are
up.
texting each other back and forth.
Yeah, yeah.
What could be this? What could be that? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Cool.
it ends up being something so different that we don't expect every time. I don't know how the hell Kojima just keeps surprising us with these trailers, right? You think that okay, he's gonna show this and that, and then he opens the trailer with a face that you have no idea who that is, and then, like two people
Right.
talking, like who the hell is this,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
One guy looks like Conan O'Brien, and the guy who's
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
but what a start. Like I was when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, this Death Stranding? Like who the hell are these guys,
Same.
right?
Yeah, me too.
um
Yeah.
but yeah, like this trailer was again, I thought it hit all the right notes.
Probably the best trailer that I've seen till date.
Me too, I'll have to agree.
Probably.
I'll have to agree.
If I'm being very neutral from my side and if I cut off all my biases towards, because me personally, I'm a very cinema-driven guy. So
Mhm.
besides video games, I'm very much into movies and everything.
Yeah.
But by far, I think this is probably the best trailer. And there have been pretty sick trailers, even if we take out all the Kojima trailers, because he does trailer in the way that no one does probably.
Hmm.
But yeah, I got reminded of Uncharted 4's trailer, that slow mo trailer. I
The 30
can't
second one.
describe it completely, but yes, wherein,
Mm.
yeah, it is one of the best trailers. And but yeah, this trailer is something. Damn man,
Yeah. This guy. No, no,
pretty amazing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was still hoping to see Ashler's concept of the sled. Just Sam just riding the freaking robot dogs. We still can't
Ah, that's
count it
also true.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still can't count it out. Maybe it will end up happening where Sam is actually riding a sled, like Santa, just delivering goods.
It would be a fun what is it, add-on during December.
Oh,
If just like drop it
oh
as an
yeah,
update, that'd be.
yeah,
Especially if it's
Mm.
already in the game and they just hide
Mm.
it.
yeah. That is true. Now, I think they did add a couple of Christmas things.
Yeah, they did the hat.
The hat, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so they could easily do something crazy like that again.
Yeah, with the sleds. I think we
Yeah.
should keep reposting it, like spam Kojima with with the concept art is like use this,
Do this.
do this. I want this. We all want this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so let's kind of like start. Okay, let's start with something that you wanted to see more in this trailer, but you didn't. And we can start with Ashler first.
Ooh, wanted to see more that wasn't in this trailer. Let's see here. Probably just more gadgets, more nuances in the notion of traversal, if that's going to be still a core mechanic, because we see notions of some of that, but some of it also confuses me because a little bit, because it seems like the world is able to be a lot bigger, and then it might step on the toes of actually doing more what is it, building like the tram system and stuff like that, you being able to do that too. I think that might be too big of a scope for us to do that, to be able to make our own. But that'd be cool if he would allow us to do that. But that might be like the new road is the train tram thing that
that could be
we're crafting a fixed train system throughout the worlds that we're running. So, but yeah,
that's interesting because I don't think we saw Sam riding on a road yet. Oh well, no, we did. We have seen roads.
we did.
Yeah, we saw roads. We saw motorbikes and everything.
Yeah,
In the previous trailer.
Yeah.
We saw vehicular like fights too, which was a thing that I said the last podcast. Kind of doing a Mad Max Twisted Metal homage.
Yep. What about you, Devish? Anything you wish you saw more of? Your camera is getting stuck, by the way, which is okay. It keeps going back and forth, but your audio is fine, so yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, it's okay.
So one thing that I wish I didn't see much of, but I somehow got to see, was the story content. I do not want to be spoiled on the story or the lore front, although we still haven't yet scratched the surface. But to me, pretty much, this trailer seemed like a lot story heavy, or maybe it gave away a lot of things. And one thing that I probably would have wanted to see more of was maybe the melee combat. Because me being a fan of melee combat and video games, previous game had very surface level of melee combat. It barely was functional because of Sam's own character, the type of character that he is. He's not a soldier or something, so he's a very, like, a couple of kicks Sam receives, he just, his balance gets problematic. So I because this game seems to be going in pretty tactile from the arms and from the skills of Sam. Apparently, he seems to be more soldier-esque than the previous game. So I still am very much interested, and I wanted to see the thing. I was hoping to see maybe a couple of punches, Sam throwing a couple of punches to some NPCs or something. Yeah. Apart from many other things, like I also want to see traversal as well.
With this trailer, what was lacking, which has been lacking, to be honest, with all the trailers, that we haven't really seen gameplay per se. We haven't seen Sam use the ladder or the rope or anything like that, right? Like the basic stuff that was in Death Stranding 1.
Exactly.
It's missing. And he's still showing a lot of gameplay elements in a very cinematic way. The different vehicles and him walking with the carriers floating behind him, and all of that. But we haven't really seen a proper gameplay. We haven't even seen the UX UI yet. We haven't seen any of that. Which I'm guessing he might do. Like, we might get like a state of play, Death Stranding specific state of play before the release of the game, where they just do like a deep dive into gameplay for like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I hope they overhaul that D-pad UI thing.
Yes,
I feel like the down D-pad was not used well.
It wasn't used, barely used at all.
Well, it's PCC used. That's how only time that you use it. And what it should have done is give you access to your whole package loadout.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to go into that complex, menu to organize your stuff. You could quickly hit that and then move stuff around, especially just for stacking for just aesthetic reasons and whatnot.
Yeah.
Especially also moving items from carrier to your person, stuff like that. So like if you want to throw some blood that you have on the carrier into your pack, especially also with the notion of us dropping off the backpack. I don't know if there's going to be a range that we're going to be dealing with to access it. Do we have to be standing right next to it to pull stuff from it when it's dropped on the ground, or do we have to have it on our back to actually access the stuff in that? So that'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our grenades and stuff was on the back, right? In the first one. Yeah. So
and on the side as well. I think.
In the pouches, inside the pouches as well, or you could have them inside the pouches, or you could have them at your back.
Yeah. The because I know that you had the blood pouch that was in your front, but then all your extra grenades were on the backpack. So if you do that and walk away from your backpack, do you still have those on your person when you're, running and gunning and hopefully being able to crawl and sneak and be more like Metal Gear Solid V kind of mechanics? But
me and Devesh have been talking about it all the time. Devesh is like, that's one of his things. That
this is my dream.
Yeah, it's like I wish it goes Phantom Pain with the action and
drop off the backpack and all Phantom Pain after that.
Exactly.
Literally, you're playing Death Stranding and then switch it to the Phantom Pain mode.
Yeah. And literally fighting freaking stranded snake.
Yeah. And something that Devish was saying that he was missing out on. I wonder if the explanation for him going from, what is it? Is he blue colored? Is that what he was supposed to be?
Yeah, he was a blue collar.
In the first he was a very blue collar worker. Yeah.
Is the VR. So he does the VR, learns how to fight, and then then they can explain. Oh, he trained.
Yeah.
He actually, and then you could actually run through things and actually maybe level up the actual abilities. Like, oh, now you can do this move. Now you can do this move. So it's a little bit like Matrix jacking in. Like, now, oh, I can fly a helicopter. I know kung fu.
Yeah, it's a pretty big thing in the director's cut. That they're trying to put an emphasis on this particular mode, which is the VR training mode. It's a pretty highlighted one.
No, that's VR training plus he also already introduced that in the director's cut and everything, so it would make sense. Story wise, I don't know how that is going to work out, because apparently Sam loses Lou, and then he goes all sad and gets old, and then Fragile comes and saves him, and then Sam goes, hey, you know what, I'm going to become the next Snake. So so it's I don't know how that's going to work out, but I can see how that could be one of the reasons, because another reason is like if we already noticed that some of his new what do you call that, costumes, or like the not costume, what do you call that,
the new suit,
the
suits. Suit, the suit that he's wearing.
They have camouflage. The suits have camouflage, and I'm like, why would Sam need camouflage?
Yeah, we talked about this in the last
plates.
Yeah. Exactly. They have he has those plates and stuff.
So what I have seen in the past two trailers is that in the first game Sam was having a pretty generic, a porter suit. But in this game there seems to be that the new costume that we are seeing. In one of the scenes when we see mecha BT for or that robot stranded in the air in the previous trailer.
Mm-hmm.
When Sam goes and shoots hip fires, we see the back of his suit. I could be wrong, but we see it gets tightened up or something, or in such a way that it doesn't seem like a normal suit. To me, it seemed like a pretty much leaning towards a tactile armor suit or something, more than just a normal, a porter suit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, no, it does. The suit definitely looks a little different. It looks more tactile for him to move around more easily and stuff. Plus, the putting the whole backpack down is also a big addition. Like, kind of like heading to that direction where you can all out go action mode and stealth mode in this
Right.
one.
I know with the first game, having the different color suits. I wish that was more of a like did more
Hmm.
of a thing within in the game. Like you actually have to wear the disposal suit for disposing and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
to protect
Oh
yourself
yeah.
from the chiral density
Mm.
and stuff like that. But expanding that notion of what you're saying, like having more body armor stuff, that would go back to Metal Gear Solid V with the different suits that he runs, where you're running naked,
Yeah.
heavy,
Yeah,
and even like the skull suit stuff. So, but yeah,
Mm.
that would be interesting.
having
The Radan or Redan, whatever his name was,
Raiden,
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 yeah.
Radan or
Raiden.
whatever his
Yeah, yeah,
name was,
Raiden.
that suit, the Raiden suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that suit was pretty cool. He
Mm-hmm.
could infinitely sprint into that mode in Phantom Pain, right?
Oh, you're okay. You're talking about
There was an
Raiden.
infinite
Yeah,
sprint.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, give different
I liked it.
buffs and different
Hmm.
add more often like an RPG element in that sense where like depending on
Yeah,
what you wear, you get different buffs, right?
because with it, if you're running like the digital camo stuff, that would
Hmm.
could function with certain things. I know we were saying maybe it affects the bots specifically, but I could see it also affecting the any of the people that we've seen in this new trailer too.
Mm-hmm.
Because we seem to have like they seem kind of more military than the other mules that we saw in the first game.
Yes, the
Mules, yeah,
mules. Yeah, the mules
yeah.
look way more.
These seem to be pretty much
Yeah, they're
leveled
like
up.
the fling. Yeah, they're like flying around in jetpacks and stuff and
Yeah,
shooting
like
at you. Yeah,
they like
they float. Plus,
yeah
Actually,
that
wonder if we could packs. Sorry.
your audio is cutting off again, Devesh. Try turning off and on your webcam again.
Okay.
Maybe that'll
I'm
fix.
sorry.
No, all good. Um,
I was saying, makes me wonder if we could get the jetpacks after disposing them off or something, the mules or whatever.
yeah,
yeah
if you could
it
pick
would
up the
be
jetpacks, yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I would agree. Procure on site kind of stuff from bodies would be really nice. I don't know if they'll do it. I could see us being able to craft them for sure.
Hmm.
We would have our versions of them for sure. But yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm curious if that one would step on the toes of like the stabilizer that they introduced in the DLC or the director's cut game. But yeah, but yes, I would be fine with having
Hmm.
options, even if there's like some things seem to be doing the same job. So
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
so we basically all three of us kind of
Real question
want
before we
more
dive.
gameplay. Yeah, go ahead, Devesh.
Yeah. Yeah. Real quick before we dive into the trailer. And so, what do you guys think? And we can start with Ashler about this. Um, the first game at least gave us an illusion, or you could disagree with from me. At least gave us an illusion about the management of the cargo itself. So let's say if you are going to take some order or something, I won't call it an illusion because there was a mechanic of arranging the cargo as you would want to, and depending upon the weight and your priority, you could offload a few cargo and maybe put it in some locker or something. But is there something that you guys, and we can start with Ashler on this? Is there something that you would wish to see it going deeper into the cargo management thing or something?
Deeper into
Something
the
that you'd want to see in the cargo management aspect.
I think I kind of mentioned some of this stuff a little bit in the last thing, but I know one of them was to be able to see in the map, you when you clicking on like depots and stuff like that, you can't see what resources or what missions are available to you. Outside of it, you can't see what's in the lockers. And that would be nice to be able to, if you level them up enough or do 5-star them or whatever, then you can gain access to that information so you can do more organization. The other thing I know I mentioned was
Hmm.
having your to-do list and then an actual stuff that you have to-do list, which is stuff that you've actually actively said that you wanted to do, and then things that you just are thinking about doing, and then it would say, hey, you might want to do this now because you're nearby it, kind of a thing. It would just like, okay, this is a plan that you want to build something here, and you might as well do it and bring a little bit of extra stuff so you can build it, or make sure you got a PCC with you and whatnot. So, what exactly are? What about you?
I mean, with cargo management, like I always thought that was a little bit of a, that was one part that was very confusing as well. Not everyone's gonna get it easily, and a lot of people, from what I've seen, is like they would auto set everything with their cargo, right?
Yeah,
Um,
Me included.
Yes, because it was just too much work sometimes. It's like, oh, how do I put it? Just let it the game do its thing and move
right.
on. With the cargo,
I think I wish there was like move on top, so you would select one of them and then you could throw it on top,
yes, literally.
and then it would just and then everything would cascade down from there. Because I got like to the point where I was trying to be like, it was top heavy looking, so I like would pull stuff off real quick and then throw it back on again. I know like did you guys ever do the quick push down, like dump everything on the ground thing ability at all?
Yep.
Yeah, I did. I do it a lot.
So
Pressing the triangle button, right?
it's holding one of the buttons down for you cook it, and then it just puts everything on the ground.
Yeah, circle or
And
triangle.
then go in the menu and then
Offload everything.
just stack what you want. So it's all on the ground immediately that way, and then you don't have to individually pull everything out. Everything's already down, and then you could throw it back up again. That's also good when you're like the notion of taking off your backpack kind of a thing. If you're near bosses or bad guys, you could just drop all your stuff and then go and fight, so that nothing gets damaged. It's all just sitting there. I don't know if the mules or anything run over and try to pick it up or not, but yeah.
Interesting.
Was there anything else with the management that you guys had?
But I guess over the overall UI, I guess could be better. That's definitely one thing that I had with the first game. It got a little confusing and overwhelming at one point.
Yeah, there's some tricks to it for sure.
Yeah.
That you could do and whatnot, but you did have to think outside of it. I know the cooking the button for exiting was a little bit weird, but then I probably would be pissed if I exited the menu too fast too. So it's a little confusing and childproofing with a lot of it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the delivery stuff at the very beginning a lot, like especially when it was like I had other stuff that I wanted to hold on to, and I was giving it to them.
Yeah.
Or doing stuff that I was trying to hold on to. I think
lost cargo, shared lost cargo, something, and that was kind of confusing.
Yeah. I think you had to click on. You had to make sure that these are the ones that you're doing, and these ones that you had to remove them. I think is what it is, so you didn't.
Man, yes, true.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
I haven't played the game in a while, so like for me, it's and I'm glad I haven't, because now it's gonna be, the whole delivery thing is gonna be fresh and hopefully, more easier to manage, which will be nice.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm just gonna mess around with my end of my current save with the director's cut rather than really starting from the beginning. I think I'll do that maybe after I finish Death Stranding 2, and then maybe go back and try to mess with that one. But there's so many games. It's
I know.
Easy to
Uh,
say
Oh
that I'm
man,
going to do that, but I don't know.
this year
yeah,
especially has been
I get it.
crazy with games, man. It's just I don't know. Like I have to pick and choose for the first time. Like what do I play? What do I not play? I have to let
Mhm.
some of them go, and because there's no time to play everything, right? But let's jump into the trailer and just kind of quickly go through some of the things that we saw. So at the
We
start of
got
the trailer, of course, we see I don't know who that
Ne-
is. Probably a big
Neil.
shot from Bridges.
Yeah, yeah. I
Talk
was Bridges or some
or
like
UCA,
yeah,
one of those, because this timeline seems to be before Death
yeah,
Stranding
yeah.
happened.
This may be even before or UCA too. This might even be before the Death Stranding.
Yeah, this
'Cause
is this is definitely before the Death Stranding. Bridges was already there. I think this is the part where the game connects with the director's cut.
because this he's dealing with experimentation with the still
Still
mothers.
Mothers, yes.
So there's a notion of that the
Hmm.
initial one could still happen, or the initial notion of it, where the doctor touched the umbilical cord and saw the
Mm-hmm.
BT, and then cascaded that whole like research
Yes.
R&D thing. So from there, then yeah, it's I don't know if that was the first Stranding thing, or if there was something else that was a more of a major catalyst to when the Stranding happened.
Um,
Um,
wasn't that I could be wrong. Wasn't the first like proper Death Stranding started with Lucy being and Lou, the explosion over there,
I
that,
don't think so.
or was it
I could be
before
wrong.
that?
I think I want to say that from that felt
It
like
was
they were already in like cities that were more locked down. It felt like, but
Yeah, true,
I'm not
true.
sure. So I want to say
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
but I know Lucy didn't believe in Sam's what he was experiencing, so it had to be before it was confirmed that there's
Yeah.
like ghosts walking around too. So um, yeah, she thought he was crazy. So I want to say yeah, there's this quasi pre like Death
Mm-hmm.
Stranding thing where it's like it's happening but it's not happening.
Yeah, like they were just as Neil says that he's transporting brain dead pregnant women, right? For UCA through Mexico, and he's
So
a previous convicted
okay,
criminal, of course, and that's why the first dialogue is he doesn't want to do it anymore, and he's like, oh, we are overlooking your crimes for this, so it's a win-win for both of us. But then it sounds like he doesn't have like he literally says you don't have a choice, right?
right.
You have to do it. So he's pretty much in big trouble, and he's been made to do something that he doesn't morally agree with, and that's where the whole Lucy connection comes in, because there's something now we know that before Sam, Lucy was definitely involved in some way with Neil, like something was going on between them, as she even mentions, right?
You guys think this Lucy is Sam's Lucy, right?
Yes.
Okay. I know that the character
It's
model
safe to
that they
say.
had in the
Yeah.
picture for her looks a little bit older
Different. Yeah.
and whatnot. So it feels a little bit
Hmm.
interesting. Sure.
It could be,
Um,
knowing Kojima, it could be like, oh, he's leading us to believe this is Lucy Strand, and ends up being a whole different Lucy just working for
yeah,
Bridges.
yeah,
Just the same
uh,
name.
yeah. Which
Uh,
would be very confusing, but a easy way to like
but
make us.
it's a good way to betray your audience, though.
Yeah. It would be easy way to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
A thought that I just had is I assume this training what happens is chiral density builds up and then timefall starts to happen and
Mm-hmm.
then it starts to create the other weird stuff to cascade. So it probably was a gradual
Mm-hmm.
uh uh probably the whole
Build up to it.
still
Yeah.
mother research caused the Death Stranding. It's probably what
Yeah.
really caused the Death Stranding. Is
Yeah.
they kept on messing with that shit, and then it
Something
created
happened. Mm.
more chiral density in our world, and then timefall started happening, and then more people started dying and getting sucked, captured, and then creating void outs, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Hmm.
No, yeah, definitely that seems to be the case. I also had this weird theory, but it could be completely wrong. I just spoke to Devesh about it, where
Cool.
the when she put like in the scene after the opening one where Neil is talking to Lucy, she pushes like a digital
Tablet, yeah.
A
tablet
tablet or something?
with a baby
Hmm.
in there. Um, my first thought was, and the next dialogue she says is, "This was a mistake. The thing between us." Is that their baby? Is that a BB? Is that a experimental BB? What is it? Because I was like, maybe something happened between them, and she's pregnant, and that's their baby, and she's like, this thing between us was a mistake. And what if the baby that Lucy has is Lou, that Sam thinks is his? But then again, there's a disparity between the timeline. But the way I connected that was like, you know how Neil is the counterpart for Cliff in Death Stranding 2. He's coming back into our world, his own beach. We can tell by everything that he's like
It definitely has that
yeah,
vibes for sure.
literally the replacement for Cliff in Death Stranding 2. So if that's the case, he's coming to look for someone. Could that be Lou? Because that's his daughter.
Yeah, reverse the where's my BB?
Yeah,
BB?
exactly.
Yeah,
So
and it's actually it's the instead of what we thought that was happening
yeah,
in the first one, it fulfills
and
that notion.
my theory for that is Lou is actually tomorrow, because Lou gets killed apparently, and she goes into that weird black BB state. But Lou is a repatriate,
Yeah,
because that happened at the end of the game. But Lou, being a baby, doesn't know how to return to her body and come back, right, to the
Yeah.
living world, and she gets stuck on that beach. And then Higgs is also on the beach, and time is different in both the beaches. Like time flows differently on the beaches, right? So maybe Higgs raises tomorrow, right? Or
yeah, it feels
that's
like there's some kind of weird interaction there. Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh,
I think
one
there's
of,
definitely a connection between the three: Tomorrow, Neil, and Higgs.
one of the clips in this, and when we
Mm-hmm.
get to it, where the baby's pushing like something. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
maybe a bed or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
The face definitely looks like Tomorrow,
Yeah.
this
Elle Fanning.
actress. Yeah.
Yeah. Elle Fanning. Yeah.
So
So yeah, I know I'm reaching a little ahead, but I think that could be one of the reasons. And then eventually Sam does end up reaching where the land of the dead, where Tomorrow is, and he brings her back, and that's end up being a weird cycle that he's actually brought back Lou, and he doesn't know that's Lou, and and that's where the whole thing plays out. But very interesting where they're taking this.
one of the interesting things, though, I know Sam says that she's BB's dead, but I don't know. But then also Higgs, kind of in the previous trailers, like kind of like you don't know what's going on,
Yeah.
because the things that we know what happened is that Fragile just teleported her to a beach, and then was there for a long time, and then I assume then was placed into a chrysalis and then grew inside the chrysalis. It would make the most sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, but Fragile couldn't take her to like she tried teleporting her, but
Right, what she does is sends her alone by herself, so they lose her.
maybe was that happened? Because because
Yes.
I got a little confused there too, because she said
She tries to teleport her, and she can only
herself. Yeah.
take her equipment,
Yeah.
and so she just decides
Yeah.
to what she does to Sam and just teleports her, and then
Yeah.
she's lost.
Yeah,
And
she's probably
then
in one of those beaches, and that's
and then
probably the land of the
walk-
dead. Yeah.
then she walks around. Maybe
Hmm.
people help her. Dead people help her. Maybe in that thing she gets powers. Maybe is a little bit of a baby. But at some point she's going to turn into that chrysalis thing if she is Tomorrow.
And that beach
Which
could
would-
be where Higgs is stranded too. That's why they know each other.
Yeah, he like the notion of actually raising her
Yeah,
for a
raising
period
her.
of time.
Yes.
Period of time there.
Hmm.
I don't. It would make it would make more sense and be easier if what it is it gets crystallized and maybe he's running that as a BB like pod. So he's carrying the chrysalis that's small, but the chrysalis grows, and he's talking to the chrysalis in the dead world. So that's their connection. That he's like a Sam on the other side for her.
Yeah, yeah, that's highly likely. I think this is going to be a very interesting connections of these relationships, right? I think it's going to get really interesting with Higgs, Neil, and Tomorrow. There's something really weird happening there. And also the shot where Fragile gets shot, right? The guy in the hood, that doesn't look like Higgs. I think it's someone else. I don't think that's Higgs shooting Fragile.
To me, it looks like Higgs. Me at least.
His gloves are totally different from what Higgs gloves are. I was noticing some of the details.
But if you see, but if you see,
your voice is cutting
so
off.
I was saying, if you see, Higgs does. Okay, my bad. Is it fine now?
It's better. Yeah, go ahead.
No. So I was saying that could really Higgs and because we see a couple of times, or maybe a few couple of times, Higgs changing his attire, or in some of the ways, like he is pretty much experimenting with his masks, right? And one of the masks is literally is an army mask, and then in one of the masks, I believe it is where I heard in the trailer when we see Higgs, the army of Higgs is bowing down to Sam, and then there is also Higgs there, and in the next couple of clips, Higgs comes down to the camera and we see a smiling face, right? So I think Higgs is pretty much kind of experimenting with his looks or expressions or whatever you look like. I think that is Higgs.
It's possible.
I could be wrong, but that is it.
It's possible. Opinion. My only thing is, why didn't he show it was Higgs? Because he's already revealed who Higgs is.
Yeah,
why would he hide his face?
There's going to be definitely a surprise weird thing with it. I agree.
For me also, I think the color on there is different from the orange of Higgs. It could be the lighting. It could definitely be the lighting that the color is different. For me personally, I think it's a whole different color than the Higgs army color that the people who chase Fragile.
The motion does feel like it's a human though. The animation, it does feel like it's a person. So and I can't remember what the.
Well, did Ashler just disappear? Hello?
Yeah, मैं आवाज आ रही मेरी?
Yeah, तुम्हारी तो आ रही है. He's gone. Let me see. Oh yeah, you just vanished in the right in the middle of the stream. That was funny.
No, he's back.
I'm back.
No, I had to bring you back in. I don't know what happened. You just left.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Where did I leave off at?
No, you. Where were you? You said that he looked human, and then
yeah. I don't know if the other team looked like they were robotic at all. It would be weird if and it doesn't make sense to my brain right now how I'm organizing it. If that was Nil, that shoots them, but that doesn't make sense.
Could be
because I want to. It could be, but yeah, I guess he could die in the story and then get stuck in the hellscape later on. But maybe he's able to come into the real world instead of how Cliff had to pull you into the storm. So
maybe like it was. Yeah, it could be him because he came for Lou and she just made Lou disappear.
But I have see. No, but yeah. So I was saying, but in that very scene, we see Fragile looking at one side while still having Lou on her chest and laying down on the ground. She sees the robots or the bots or mecha BTs or whatever they are. Let's call them mecha BTs or robots for now. They coming from the right side, and then she turns her face left, and she sees this guy who I think I believe is Higgs. But yeah, could be anyone. But, So I don't think that's the Higgs army, unless and until he inherits that army from some other guy.
It's possible. Yeah. This is definitely something that Up for debate. It could be either one.
It has his boss.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll definitely find out. I'm excited to see where that goes. But
Right.
um,
Before we move on to the
mhm,
next scene, I wanted to just this will jump a couple places, but
mhm.
there's an interesting notion that the two actors that play Neil and Lucy
They're
have played another role.
Lucy.
They played was it is it it's Mary and Joseph, with the notion of like Mary of Nazareth, I think is what the movie is called. Both of
ye-
them.
hmm,
Which I'm curious if Hideo is doing some weird things like he's doing with
hmm,
what he's doing. He did this with Sam in the first game with Norman Reedus and the bike stuff, and then
hmm.
also the music stuff with Troy Baker.
Yeah.
That into the game. I'm wondering if you're doing kind of a religious thing, like these are the
Hmm.
parents of the BB, or
Yeah.
maybe even these are the parents of what is it, Bridget. It could be the other thing too,
Hmm.
um, which would be an interesting,
Some
like
sort
these
of godly figure or something. A
are further
cult
back.
could be formed for
Huh?
them. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be like a
I
cult
was
or
thinking
something.
a cult could be formed just surrounding them. These two people. I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
they're husband and wife in real life. That's another connection. So,
Okay. Well, yeah.
oh, you
yeah.
don't
So
know that?
no, I
No,
did
no,
not know that.
they're actually
Okay.
husband and wife,
Oh,
both
they
of
are
them.
And
very much.
that adds more to it too. So
Yeah.
that kind of weird, like subliminal, or what is it? It's kind of meta
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
tie into stuff. Leaks could leak into people's head, and he's maybe running with that. But he's definitely doing a kind of a mythology thing. I think he was quoted saying something that he was wanting to create a new mythos for the new age kind
Hmm.
of stuff, and
Hmm.
that's what Death Stranding is supposed to be for us. Our new what is it? Kind of Hercules,
Hmm.
or kind of a religious figure that we could like look up to or whatever.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
in a weird like video game, like pop
Hmm.
cultural way, kind of a thing. But yeah,
Interesting. But yeah, like those two characters, I'm really excited to see more of because clearly the chemistry on screen is amazing. The
yeah,
acting, man, like I really have to mention the graphics. Like
yeah,
one thing that has always bothered me, like some of the studios have nailed it, but most of the studios still haven't reached there, are the eyes. Eyes always give away the it being real or graphics, but some games have managed to do it. Like Naughty Dog does it really well. Their eyes are like you can't tell if they're. But in
yeah,
Death Stranding 2, Neil's eyes are just like so expressive. I don't know how the hell he's
yeah.
doing that, but
They're probably running eye tracking.
yes, they probably are. And it's not just the eye tracking. It's
Hmm.
it's the look of the eye. It's like it's sometimes it just gives away.
The
It's
basic
CG.
rendering of eyes, the
Yeah,
textures, the lighting.
exactly. And that
Yeah.
just one scene, like where just Neil is just looking at Lucy, just sitting there and
Yeah,
just looking at her, right? That whole that just that look
And
itself is
speaks a
looks.
thousand words
Yeah, I
without saying
know
anything.
exactly that just the expression, the acting on that in that scene is just fantastic. And I think I'm so glad that the tech now is at that point where it can actually capture what the actors like the subtle details of an actor's expression. So that's definitely one thing I'm looking forward to is more scenes of these two characters. But moving on the trailer, we see that's the poster scene of Sam actually having Lou in front of him, and
there's the throat baby in front of that too.
oh
Whose throat
yeah,
do you think that is?
that looks like Neil. That's another thing. Neil also has green eyes, and
Okay.
it's right after the Neil shot cuts, and it's like it was not a mistake. And then he's angry. He's like, BB's. That's the expression of BB for the first
Interesting.
time. That's another
Did,
connection. Elle Fanning and Neil both have green eyes.
The other thing that could be is that could be inside BB's throat or Tomorrow's throat. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's possible.
yeah.
But yeah. So we see this scene of Sam carrying Lou, and I think that's right after the ending. I think that's where the game begins, because Lou's still there, and he, as Devesh pointed out to me, he's actually has the APAC logo on his back, not Bridges.
Yeah,
So
Oh,
the
which
cargo has an APAC logo.
yes,
oh, just the cargo does. Okay.
yes, the cargo
Yes.
has the
Yeah.
APAC logo,
Okay.
and he has. I love that freaking long coat, by the way. It looks amazing.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and then you see this whole. He's kind of like Kojima is basically just showing off the engine at this point. Like, just look at how vast this
Yeah.
world is gonna be. And interestingly enough, we see a city in the background, which me and Devesh were saying, like, cities are gonna be explorable, not like every building or something, but at least you can enter these walls, because even in this trailer, there are a few shots that feel like, oh, you're inside that city, the walled city. So yeah, this shot is basically just showing off the whole vast vista.
Yeah, that'd be interesting if there was more like smaller terminals in front of like some of the buildings where you could actually just deliver to like more houses, so you're more like a normal mailman rather
Yeah.
than a epic mailman.
Hmm.
You're doing stuff more
That would be interesting.
locally, and then actually talking to people.
Yeah,
Um,
and also in this shot, you see an upside down rainbow,
yeah,
which is interesting because Timefall apparently stopped.
Do we?
I don't know, because the whole thing with Rain seems like the whole them throwing rocks at her and stuff. They're weirded out that she can be out in the rain. So either that's a flashback before it stopped, if it stopped, or it's still happening.
Which shot are you talking about?
Rain, the character Rain.
No. I'm not
Rainy.
No, I'm not talking about Rainy.
I know, but the Timefall. If Timefall
Oh, yeah.
stopped, that whole context of that scene doesn't make any
No,
sense.
but the
if
ending
it's current.
ending of Death Stranding, they both walk out in the rain, and we see a right side up rainbow.
Right.
So
That might be just the U.S. that is being cleaned.
that's true, but I think the
Or
shot,
That is what I
or
also
just specifically that location.
yeah,
it could be
yeah,
just
it could be
like-
just that location too. Because if Sam is still carrying Lou, and this is the start of the game, they're still in the U.S., and we still see an upside down rainbow right in front.
see.
of
That is what I feel. Because what I suspect till now is that maybe Death Stranding is over just from US or mostly from US, and that is why some of the cities have come up. I feel like the city that we saw in this particular shot, as well as the cities that a few couple of shots of city that we're going to see in the trailer down the line are the locations in the US and not in other country, right? And I feel like that is why APAC in the first trailer of Death Stranding 2, it was said that besides, like, it was not the UCA that was pulling the strings, it was APAC, a private corporation, right?
Yeah.
Which is a very allegory for the real world, without going too deep into it, the real world, if you take any country, it's basically an oligarchy that mostly affects the decisions of the governments, right? And and what I feel is, and we'll definitely be diving deep into when the scenes come. I think whatever after the first part of the game, right after the standing one, APAC that was pulling the strings behind UCA would take over the nation as a premier corporation for building the infrastructure, for building the infrastructure for delivery, for building maybe roads, the train system and everything. So what I feel like, and this is me suspecting, like obviously suspecting till now, that the United States of America, at least for the first major part of the portion of the game, would be pretty much free from the timefall or something, or would have minimal timefall, and would have more cities on the ground rather than inside the bunkers, underground cities. So more infrastructure, walled cities would be there in covered in patches, and due to APAC's advancements, we would have the
Automatic
train network in
deliveries.
the United States and everything.
And
and that is where the deliveries have been automated.
I think
Yeah.
Devish also mentioned earlier when I was talking to him that, and I always wanted, like even before we saw anything with Death Stranding, always said to Devish that I wish we have a mother base kind of thing in Death Stranding too. And from the looks of it, UCA might be that base, because that's everything's good, everything's automated. Even in the next few shots, we see the UCA is fully automated right now. Like APAC is fully
Right.
automated deliveries, and
Which
that's building up.
which still makes me question if Timefall is fixed, because I
Yes.
know the automation is helpful and
Hmm.
everybody can be more lazy or whatever,
Yeah.
or creative,
Hmm.
but the notion is still why if they're using that stuff, it still makes it sound like there's still problems possibly
Yes.
there. There's still BTs maybe, and there's
Hmm.
still
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
and
There's still something. It's still leaking within the environment somehow.
it's I don't see my thing is I don't see how tomorrow or BB coming back would stop the chiral density all over the US. It just
Hmm.
because that's how I see how the timeful works.
Yeah.
It's done through chiral density, bringing because that's
It's basically through Karelium.
huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
chiralium and the chiral density
I was saying
in
it's
an
basically
area,
through
and that
Karelium.
allows
Yeah.
BT and it's kind of this both BTs and the chiral density are a handshake, and then the timefall is the leakage of the black waters
Yeah.
that is in the stream,
Hmm.
or the seam. It's seam
Yeah.
water basically
Yeah.
that's falling and then turning into natural water.
Hmm. And we'll talk about it a little later too. But I do think there are two different kinds of liquids now. Black liquids. There are two different ones. It's not just the tar. There's another one that came through the chrysalis, where tomorrow was. That's from the land of the dead. And the giants that we see fighting each other, they're not the same liquids. One is a black tar and one is from the land of the dead. That's why they're also fighting amongst each other. It's because even Tarman mentions that in the second trailer that, oh, this one also has what you call that, what does it say,
Amino acids.
yes,
Properties
amino acids, yeah. It just, and
Yeah,
he says just like tar, this one also has amino acids. So there are two different, completely different kind of liquids.
just like tar.
Yes.
This has amino acids. Yeah, I would have to go back to listen to that again. So yeah, that does sound like he's talking about
Two different
something
ones.
else. Two,
Yeah.
well, two different ones, or he's just comparing, that, or he's saying that this is also tar, maybe,
Yeah,
and
like
not in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
yeah, for me it sounded more like they're two different ones, and
There-
this
there-
one also
there-
has properties of the same one.
There might be like a weird density thing
The black ink that is from it.
too. Like
Yeah.
like because if he's talking about the stuff that's in the seam itself, or where they're going through or whatever, maybe there's like it's a little bit different when it's in that state versus it's like, what is it, lava, where
Yeah,
it's magma inside the earth versus lava outside the earth. I'm pretty sure if I can remember that correctly. So when it's in the land of the dead, it's a different material than it is when it's in the
it
land
has
of the
more.
Mm.
the
Okay.
amino acids could happen in one area versus the other area more.
Plus, I also think the Higgs army, the mecha BTs that we're calling, because he's fusing the BTs with mechs, right? The octopus is a mix of it.
Well-
So I think that liquid is probably the one from the land of the dead. It's not the one, or maybe it could be the tar as well. But
Well,
it's interesting.
one of the things that's interesting with those things is that they seem like what they are is catchers feeding the giant thing. So it's like they're accumulating bodies or souls or whatever to create that black thing,
Yeah.
and they can kind of like fall off parts of them within the first game with some of the other creatures. But it's like so I'm wondering if somehow Hartman has made a deal with the beings that exist inside that being. Does that make sense? So it's like maybe his family there, or maybe they actually did a mass killing to create a giant thing. I don't know. That would be crazy to do that, to kill a bunch kill a bunch of people to create a colossus that are now working together, kind of thing. But yeah, he had to do something interesting for sure. There has to be some kind of interesting difference between
The
why,
way he connected with them.
why
Yeah.
one's versus. So what are you suggesting is the difference between?
There's some difference between both the liquids because
Okay, you're suggesting one is like tar that's in the land of the living, and one is the tar
the
that's
other
still
one
in the
from the
land of the
beaches.
dead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So they're
yeah,
two
that
different
would
kind
make-
because you even see two giant black things just fighting each other.
Yeah.
Right. One is like almost like on our side, and the other is from the different side where Sam is
Yeah.
shooting the other giant, and the other one is fighting with it.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's controlled by Hartman because apparently he can control VTs now.
In this trailer, we see this ripply warping into reality. With the box.
Helium warps the environment is what we see. That is why we are able to see some constellations as well. Maybe the moon coming close to Earth or something. And and in one of the ways, in one of the scenes we see there is a huge warp of environment wherein the black liquid is forming some sort of
Yeah.
triangular shape.
Yeah.
And it's going
It's one of the
upside.
next shots. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the warping thing, I'm thinking that's probably how the bots teleport from the land of the dead to the land of the living.
The warping that you're talking about is where one of those orange hooded guys just walks into something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like
so
a mirror thing.
that could be the gate, the plate gate that connects the continents, or even the land of the dead, because Sam also goes through that. It's a mirror. It's like a mirror. If you go through, it's a mirror,
it's
right?
like a mirror. Yeah.
So maybe the whole
reflection
gate that
on
we
it.
see from the first trailer, remember, and that's where they're walking towards. Maybe that's the portal that leads. Because even if we keep following the video, so from this part of the video, what we see is like we see a video, and then after that is a text that explains what we previously saw. So, for instance, this shot of Sam picking up Lou. Right after that, the first text we see on the screen is 11 months after the birth of UCA. He's telling us it's been 11 months since Death Stranding 1's end. The next shot we see is the servers, which is a whole different theory. Like, why are servers on the beach?
Yeah.
This is the doing of APAC.
Yeah, and like, why even are there servers? Like, what the hell is happening?
The thing is also interesting about the server one is the 5 people above is now this big ring thing. So it's like the servers actually have a connection to those floating figures.
Beaches.
Right?
And I have
That's the network, right? The chiral network. And network technically has to run on servers too, right?
And I wonder if those floating things are still mothers. Is what those are, possibly.
That's one of the sickest shot of the trailer.
What I feel it is.
Go ahead.
What I feel it is, and this is where my theory for the servers also come in. So in the server shot, when we see the 5 people, like in place of the 5 people, we are seeing
the rings,
many concentric circles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those rings are just BTs of people that have their beaches connected on some sort of plane and that is why the servers have been installed here. And which would be empowering the APAS, automated something service.
Public
I forgot the name.
Public
assistant service.
Yeah.
And in the first or the second trailer, I believe in the second trailer, the boss or the president of the APAC apparently says the dialogue thanks to the chiral network and APAS, which I believe APAS is a tech which is being formed upon or on the foundations of this chiral network, and I believe these servers are channeling or maybe connecting everyone's beaches in probably the UCA or the United States of America, and on the basis of that, the ATAS tech has come through which the deliveries have been automated.
Interesting. So you're kind of suggesting that they've created an analog of Amelie. A digital version of Amelie.
Yeah, because
they are
one thing that we know
are creating that because they're connecting all the beaches together again.
Yes.
Yeah, because because I was trying, because I was pretty much, and I'm still very much interested in APAC. Okay, this corporation. Why was this corporation behind the UCA and putting up the strings and everything? Because UCA was trying us to connect the Amelie's beach, right?
Mm.
And in her beach, we got to see the other five people of ours, the team members.
Mm-hmm.
And if UCA was having that particular motivation, it was because APAC was pressuring them, because APAC was funding them, probably, right? Apparently, APAC was funding the government for running all this thing and
Mm-hmm.
connecting the beaches and everything. And this is where I think, because in the world of Death Stranding, a private corporation needs to earn money, right? And the money is basically the greed or the profits to the shareholders would come if they can somehow take the monopoly over deliveries, right?
Yeah.
So instead of us porters, human porters, going and delivering everything, APEC would have wanted to have the monopoly,
Yeah.
and that is why after the events of the first game, they would have taken over the Fragile Express or the bridges, because they were already pulling the strings on behalf of UCA. So this is what I suspect could be the case, is that in order to and we see Sam's carrier having the logo of APAC, and in one of the shots down the line we see a distribution center having the logo of APAC. So apparently APAC is automating all the deliveries to maximize their profits, have a monopoly in the United States of America, and similarly, what they want us, Sam and the company, to go into Mexico and do the same for them, what we did in the United States of America, and that is why the bots have been only automated in the United States, because we did the panel network connecting stuff, right? And now APAC wants us to go to the Mexico, and they want us to do the repeat the same thing that we did in the United States, which is to connect all the parts and points in the Mexico region, and then after all the points or the portals have been connected in the Mexico, they would have the Kernel network fully going on there, and then they can install their servers, and then they can automate deliveries in Mexico as well. I mean, basically, it is what Kojima, I think, the game is trying us to believe, is that it is the function of greed, right,
What
on
what is,
behalf of APAC.
what is that notion of greed though? Because all currency
Money.
is this.
Yeah.
Is it just raw
All currency
stuff?
exists,
Because we're running like 3D printer
but
stuff.
yeah. But I
There's,
think, and that is what we have to see, because
the economy doesn't seem like it exists. It would be more like bandwidth, maybe might be the economy, but that's just so they can.
but a private corporation,
No,
see,
but
see,
where
a
are
private
they?
corporation doesn't run on people. See,
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. This is what I
I
feel. A
I could
private
see them
corporation
building the
doesn't run
economy
on
after.
public charity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, or some sort of control or something,
I
some
think
sort
it's
of
more about
mechanical
power.
control, or maybe some sort of a different meta.
I think more than
Yeah, it's
money, it's
power.
about
It
power.
could be
I don't
anything.
think it's about money, because money, to be honest, doesn't even make sense in this the way the world is right now.
Yeah, it would be
Uh,
more slave labor to
yes.
have stuff being manufactured, created, so then they could live in a
Could be
middle
any
class
incentive. It's not
utopia.
money then power.
Having
Uh,
having the
Yeah,
having
highest bandwidth, or with that,
yeah,
because of the network being connected, and because of the bandwidth, they can create and print all these different things, and which
there,
also includes weapons,
there
apparently.
might be also the notion of just the weaponization of this stuff too, like being
Yes.
right.
scared.
Yes.
It's like, so screw money. We want to be at the top, so
Power.
we're
Yeah.
apex
Yeah,
predator.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I
So,
think the
yeah.
more the main reason is definitely power, and also this beach shot looks exactly like Amelie's speech, right?
yes,
So
the creatures that are stranded
yes,
on the
stranded,
between.
exactly. So
And I think the rock is maybe the same.
same.
I'm not sure.
I think
I'm not
so.
sure. I'm not sure about the ones in the background, but the one in the more in the mid
Yeah,
ground definitely looks
they
like
do look the same. The next shot is basically
that
Apex,
net.
right?
Oh,
Automated
that is
porter
that's the game that I wanted in Death Stranding.
systems.
At the end game, I wanted that. I wanted to be able to set up bot systems
Yeah.
and a bunch of weird things, automate everything, so I didn't have to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
basically what it would do is support my infrastructure so I could get on and
Yeah.
get on the game and not have to worry about timefall.
I love the logo of APAS. It's like a
Me
brain
too.
connected.
Yeah,
right? It's
that
a
might
brain.
another reason why they're doing it.
Yes.
Is they want to create
Interconnected.
they want
AI.
to turn the world into a brain.
Yeah. And but yeah, we see the map of UCA. We see all the belt of all the explosions that we had to cross towards the west.
Yep.
Right. And we can see that the porters are delivering everywhere, and of course deliveries have been automated. Is the text that we get after that.
And this is the gate that you were talking about earlier.
Yes, the next one is the gate. I think.
Gate?
Yes, the plate gate.
Plate
which,
gate?
because the text is plate gate connects the continents. Now that's another place where location wise, I think we're not just going to go to UCA and Mexico, we are going to Australia, because it clearly says continents. Mexico, US are both North America.
Yeah.
And another big hint for me was the pre-order bonus of a quokka. The quokka is native to Southwest Australia. It's not found anywhere in the world. So I was like, okay, so he's clearly hinting Australia, and it will make sense with George Miller being there, and also some of the environments that we see are very Australia-like. The deserts, and especially the one in the second trailer where he's just riding the bike kind of thing in like a vast vista of just barren land and desert. That definitely looks like Australia to me. So I personally think we're definitely going to Australia as one of the continents, apart from North America. That's one of my theories, but we'll find out soon in 72 days.
It would be a good continent for the other one.
It would make sense.
I could see them doing what's it South America and
Australia
and Australia, and that's wrapping it up, and then have like they do any more.
No,
do the other
maybe
continents?
in the next part, maybe they'll
yeah,
explore
it would be the third game. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And
if they did the other continent,
then we see the DHV Magellan, new ship rides Tar Currents.
I had a question. I think someone mentioned this one of the previous podcasts. What is the acronym? Do we have like is it like deep sea?
I don't think we have
habitat vehicle or something on that lines, or
I don't think we have gotten.
It would be vehicle would be there, I think.
Yeah.
What?
Or a hydrogen or a hydro vehicle. Maybe hydro meaning water. Maybe it could be something dynamic hydro vehicle.
Okay, because I know that there's
just guessing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have a proper answer to this.
No, not a proper one. Just the notion of like guesses and stuff.
Yeah. DHV. Yeah.
My bet is on dynamic hydro vehicle.
Hydro could be hovering too, because it hovers on top.
Yeah, it could be hovering. I know like DSV is deep sea vehicle, and then there's also another one with like that has a similar acronym, but yeah.
Just something that I've noticed between the three of us right now, I think Devesh is getting our sound a little later, so there's a lag to him. That's why he starts talking, and then that's why there's a delay. I think there's a delay with the voice reaching Devesh. Just wanted to put it out there so we know, because that's what I noticed. He gets it a little later. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see what the full form would be. Could be deep something vehicle or Yeah,
it's definitely it has to deal with the notion of being a submergible in some form, I feel.
Watch it turn out to be something like Die Hard Man vehicle or something. I don't know. But the next shot is we see Dollman. We see Dollman dead, and his car being transferred into that bridge.
Yeah. I did a little clip of this on the subreddit.
Oh, you did?
And a video.
Awesome.
but yeah, I agree. That's totally. That's I want to say that's the first time it's transferred.
That's
And
his
the
story.
interesting
Yeah.
thing is that later on here we have a little girl holding the doll, and it doesn't look like him. So when his soul possesses it, it actually changes its shape.
Changes its shape. That's true. Also, I think we see the body of Dollman here, but I think he's also holding the daughter, maybe.
Yes, I was curious about that too. I wonder if she's
Yeah,
dead
she's
as
dead as
well,
well. Yeah, probably.
or she's alive and she just hasn't been shown on the ship yet.
That's possible. There is one character on the ship that we see later on that we don't know who it is, and it kind of looks
Yeah.
like Dollman. Could that be a grown-up version of her? But we don't know who that is. It's a very mysterious character so far.
The short-haired
Yeah,
person
like they have a beanie on. I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
possibly it could be.
Yeah.
It looked like a young
Guy.
boy to me,
Yeah,
but
he
I'm
looked
not
like a guy.
positive.
That is true. That is true. I agree with that. But
To me, it seemed like he's Timothy Chalamet. I don't know why.
yeah, that's funny.
I know why it won't be him, but yeah.
Yeah, he looks like him though. That's true. So that the title after this clip is "Currents That Shake the Earth." So my guess is something happened with an earthquake that made him die. Right.
Currents that shake the earth. Interesting.
Because there are earthquakes, so something natural happened that made Dolmen die. Tectonic plates. Yeah, the tectonic plates. Yeah, I think
I'm wondering
because
if the tar is affecting it, like messing with it.
that's what I think it is, because even we saw the ship going down into the ground, into the tar. That's how the seam is underneath the ground. So that's where all the that's what's causing all the earthquakes and shit. I agree.
It would be interesting if it like was replacing the lava flow.
Yeah, it's
I
possible.
don't know what, or at least maybe compacting it so that it's like there's lava and then
The core.
magma and then tar.
Earth's core
With,
has
like-
changed from magma to tar.
Yeah. Well, you could go far as the core, or you could just say like that there was a barrier between the magma and the surface now,
Yes.
which is causing more weird changes to the plates.
That's true. Next shot. We see everyone bowing down.
Yeah,
But there's one guy still standing, which is probably Higgs.
I have a question to ask you.
yeah. Did you guys say that looks like
Higgs.
Higgs? Yeah. The background also is interesting too.
Yeah.
It almost looks like it's out in front
Outside
of
the
like
city. Outside the city.
like a city.
Okay. Oh, I just noticed
And-
something I didn't notice before. Where I'm paused. Can you guys see a
There is a distribution center.
No, that's not a distribution center. That's a train, the automated train entrance. But right above it, there's a crane. So they're constructing shit. There's a crane that builds buildings. If you on the top right.
The bound scene.
Yeah, because the older vehicles that we didn't get to drive in the first one also had cranes too.
No, but this
So,
is like
yeah.
literally like in the background within the city walls. There is a building with a crane on top.
yeah.
So they're building these buildings right now currently.
Yeah, I would.
This
just
construction
be
happening.
a new one, and I assume what's happening here is that Higgs is creating a oil or tar puddle here,
Yes.
and those things come out of the ground. The crosses.
Yeah, the giant statues. So this is right
Yeah.
outside a city wall because we can see the train and
What I
we
feel
can see
is-
a road too going into the city.
What did you say?
Yeah,
that you
go ahead, Devesh.
What I feel is that this is pretty. Yeah. So what I feel is that it is pretty. It was pretty evident from the first game that Higgs was able to control BTs and modify them as per his preference, right? So he could even produce a cat or tiger like BT, a giant cat, and among many other BTs. So I think his quirk of manipulating BTs and manipulating Tar itself has enabled him in this game's timeline to fuse the BTs with the tech in the current world, right?
Yeah.
And so this is him giving an armor, an exoskeleton to the BTs that he is already having them in his army or something.
Yeah. He's
And this
definitely
is what I feel he has done.
putting mecha on BTs, and that's
Mechanized
why.
them.
And his army seems more BT than human, and that's why maybe they follow him as a god per se, because he's, they're worshiping him, and literally in this scene they're all bowing down to him. And the fact that the statues look like Amelie, and also Higgs looks like a fusion of Amelie, like he's absorbed Amelie, because his hair is like Amelie, he has Amelie's kipu, his color, the orange, is Amelie's dress. So he's become like a godly figure to these BTs who have been fused with mech to give a new life, sort of like they are these new mecha BTs, which the BTs have more form now because of that fusion. So he's become more of like a cult, a leader in that sense for them.
And they seem to be more stable.
Do you feel like
They seem to be more stable.
Yes, they do. They seem more formed. The BTs seem more formed. Yes, Ashley, you were saying something.
so do you think they're bowing down to worshipping Higgs, or worshipping Sam there, or worshipping does he have
The statue,
the
BB pod?
the statues or
BB
something.
pod?
No, he does have a BB pod, but it's
Okay.
black. He does have a BB pod, but I think it's more Higgs, because Higgs stays up while everyone goes down.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, because what is it? Because
Oh, you know what? You know what?
Notion
You
that
might be right, Ashler. If you look at the
'cause
shot
Sam is like
in the middle of the circle.
Like if you're running with like the first Notion age of like a what is it, a religious figure, whatever,
Yeah.
where you're running her as Mary as a first go at it, and because she kind of created him, turned him into the deity that he is, or the legend that he is, because she resurrected him.
Okay.
So there is that, and then but then it could be a feint or like a dual thing, because I feel like it seems like what's happening is like they're creating like saints or something weird like that. These weird gods, or kind of weird to worship.
I actually, now that I look at this shot, they're not bowing down to Higgs, because they're in a circle, and Higgs is standing outside that circle.
Yeah, he's in the center of it.
Yeah, and he's in the center of it. They're not bowing down to Higgs. They're actually bowing down to Sam.
Or
BB, or whatever's inside the pod. In the pod. Could be Lou's BT, or the Octo. He calls it Octolu.
Yeah.
Could be bowing down to him or her.
And I don't know if
Higgs bowing down?
I don't know if when we see tomorrow, if that's going to disappear, or if it's like going to be a weird ka ha ba weird thing where that's still there, and she's also physically separated, kind of thing. So we still have BB in the pod, and a version of her grown up.
Yeah, and to answer your where's he gone? He's gone.
Is he still there? His camera's gone, but
his camera's gone. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm coming.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, from what I also noticed, to answer Devesh's question, why isn't Higgs bowing down? I think because he's the only one who's kind of human over there. Everyone else is a BT, and he's kind of like probably told them to bow down to him. It's like, here's the legend himself, or something like that, or maybe it's the Lou.
He comes off like a clergyman too.
Yes.
So he's like maybe the Pope. They're weird cult thing.
And it's a faction, right? The very next text is a weird faction spreads. So that's what it relates to. So it's definitely a faction within the whole thing. Very interesting. Gotta see what happens with that. Why are they bowing down to?
Interesting that he used faction.
Yes, exactly.
It's a when they seem like a cult.
Yeah, it's a faction. The next shot is just stunning. The Carhelium rising
Yeah.
up. It's such a
Yeah,
beautiful shot.
my brain with that is that going to be how like a tsunami is going to look? It's this weird
Yeah,
like
rising.
rising thing rather than just a wave.
Yeah, and also it's right outside a distribution. It seems like a distribution center because they
Yeah, it's
have that big.
outside of something. There's some
Yeah,
stuff on the ground.
Is it?
It looks like
Yeah.
the there are like
Yeah,
logos on the ground, like how usually there are outside a distribution
Hmm, hmm,
center.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
Um,
a city knot actually.
yeah, city knot could be a city knot too. Currently, oh maybe this is the way. Oh, maybe this is the equivalent of the tornadoes. This is how Neil gets you into the world.
Yeah, I can see
Because
that.
you saw when you went into a city knot, you came outside, a tornado happens, you get
Yeah.
sucked in, and you go into Cliff's world,
We
right?
we do see tomorrow doing some of this stuff.
Yes,
too.
and
This might be some
these
weird tomorrow esque
these
or
explosions happen.
adjacent powers.
And these explosions are happening randomly too while you're driving the vehicle. There's these explosions of chiralium just going up are happening. So it's possible.
The text after that too is interesting too because this
Chiralium warped
wall
environment.
the wall could literally do the Evo Devo crap. So the wall could go up and then there could be different stuff there, like different terrain, objects. There could be buildings there, and then they just stay there for a while, and then until another one of these weird things pop up, and then it changes again. So the landscape could constantly, in certain areas, just shift.
To shift, yeah, because it's
Into
warping
just
the environment, right? And
Random weird ass
weirdness.
shit.
I would love that. I would love that to be
Yeah.
the part. So the next one is like more within the scene, which is very interesting because the environment looks like how it is when you're inside a seam, right? Or underwater.
Yeah,
Or when Sam dies.
It has the great tone to it, but he's
Yeah.
on the ground walking, which is weird.
Weird, exactly. Like he's within the seam
This
environment
is
and walking.
this is what I wanted the experience for being inside a void out crater to be like. So you would
Yeah.
actually, especially if you could actually wear the Luden's outfit to do it.
Yeah. The text outside it, right outside it, is the unending sixth extinction. What does that mean? Like the unending sixth extinction wasn't Amelie's
So
was the sixth,
it
right?
means that it is not stopping.
So
Yeah, so I think this is happening. Like, I mean, Higgs is still wanting the explosion to go, like the extinction to come, like go through, and he's just obsessed with it. And the Death Stranding hasn't stopped, and this is the sixth extinction, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's possible. It's never ending. It's still going on. We thought it
It
was
is never
over.
ending.
It's not over yet.
yeah,
So,
well, that's what she said at the end. She backed,
Yeah.
she
Just
backed
says
away,
stuff
but
a
it
moment.
still can happen because if it doesn't, because it hasn't finalized, so it's always going to be that way until it does. It has to occur for it to not be a continuous thing. So we're extincting.
oh,
Shraddha says,
I just
extinction
did
the-
something because of something that Ashler said.
What?
The next shot is the baby pushing the thing, right?
Yeah.
I just googled Elle Fanning baby pictures, and
It's spot on.
she does look a lot like Elle Fanning. It's funny. It's funny. Like if
No,
you,
yeah, totally. It's right in the eyes. You can see it right in the eyes.
yeah, it's
And eyes and nose.
the
That's what it
eyes
looks
and
like.
nose are definitely Elle Fanning's.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That's a good catch, Ashler. It's right in front of us. Maybe he actually scanned Elle Fanning's baby picture to put it and make
Yeah,
it look
yeah.
very
that's what they
similar
did
to
with,
her.
What is it? Bridget.
Yes,
They did
they
her
scanned the
younger-
old younger version of Lindsay Wagner. Yeah, that's interesting. Now that makes a big difference. Good catch. Okay, interesting. But anyway,
Yeah.
the next
I-
shot.
I really want Higgs to walk around with her in a chrysalis pod. I want that picture. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna move ahead with the next shot, but now that would be good. But if you're really talking about what we want, I would want to handle that guitar gun, man. I really hope we get to play
Yes.
play
yes.
with the gun and also play as the Red Samurai. I would
Well,
love to have a sequence
yeah,
where you
yeah.
fight as the Red Samurai.
Well, that or at least get the weapon.
Yeah.
You know, and have that
Yeah.
change his move set. I would take that too.
That's another thing we
Um,
have a big discussion about, me and Devesh,
I have a
that
theory.
because
it's not just one protagonist. We play it as multiple player people.
yes, I'd like that to definitely be a thing to jump around.
I have a theory.
Mm-hmm.
Like right off the bat. So KGP have hired, and I'm forgetting the name of the gentleman,
Action
some
director.
action director,
Mm-hmm.
and he has worked in the past in the franchise like Onimusha and maybe Devil May Cry. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, it was Devil May Cry and Onimusha
Yes.
in some part in his career. And I wonder, it's not just him for some cutscenes or something.
No, no,
What
no.
I feel like, it's either Sam or it's either some other playable character that we could see, making some melee centric moves, and those could be some punches, kicks, or could be like the guitar itself. Because in one of the shots in the previous trailer, we saw Higgs swinging the guitar pretty, in a
literally
very,
like an axe.
Yeah, he made it an axe
yeah.
basically. Yeah, he made it an
Yeah.
axe.
Yeah.
But no,
And that combo could be a part of a melee weapon,
two,
something
two, two
Yeah.
things that we saw was
used by Sam
also
or anyone else.
in behind the scenes pictures was Fragile at one part of one of the shots that they were shooting. Fragile had the guitar on her, so definitely Fragile handles the guitar. And I'm also thinking Fragile is
Really? There's
yes.
a point where
There's
she's
behind the scenes shooting when Kojima takes pictures behind the scenes.
okay. Yeah.
So Fragile had the guitar in one of the scenes, and Higgs was literally on the floor in front of her. So there's a scene like that.
Is this a? I wonder if this is. That could be a photo op thing within the picture stuff.
But
And that would maybe hint to the notion that Higgs actually joining the group.
I
the crew.
have a
Yeah.
we have a thing
Uh,
about that Higgs is actually going to turn out to be someone who is with us, not against us.
Well, it's the bowing down to Sam. That
Yeah.
may be the point when they like, hey, we're with you.
Yep.
We're on your side. This asshole over here is fucking up the shit I'm trying to do
Yeah.
right now.
Another thing about bowing down is like even on Death Stranding 1 we saw Higgs bow down to Amelie.
Higgs
Yeah.
bounce down to
So
Amelie.
Yeah. Yeah.
but also we are forgetting one more thing. Two things actually, because Devesh mentioned the action director. There was also another set scene where there were almost like 10 or 12 people dressed in mocap with the action director doing something. So there's definitely a big action sequences with like literal melee fighting. The other thing that is always had me curious, there were kids on the sets. We haven't seen kids in Death Stranding at all. But there was a whole sequence with kids at Kojima Productions. So I'm like, what's happening?
Mocap.
Yeah,
Or
it was
sequence
mocap.
of guns were even there. Like,
Yes,
I
it
could
was
be wrong,
very
but
interesting.
in that very picture there were guns, like the mocap equipments, gun
Yes.
as like, I could be wrong.
There
But
there
kids
was,
with guns.
and also there was a whole structure, like even the action sequence where they were like adults. There was a whole structure built. There were some of them were on the structure as well, kind of like climbed up on something. So I think we have barely scratched the surface when it comes to the action sequences of this game.
Yeah. So there could be just factions fighting other factions, and you have like kid soldiers stuff.
Yes.
The notion of also the Nil stuff where he's dead. There could be also kid skeletons fighting in that war, or running around.
That would be sick.
Getting like killed too. But
Yeah.
Imagine kid skeletons running around. That'll be freaking creepy as fuck.
but yeah, there's options there. The notion of like just someone attacking a city is also a thing.
Yes.
Having kids in a situation where they're dealing with stuff. The only other thing that comes to my mind is the notion of like school bus kind of a situation where kids are being moved from one area to another area and then getting ambushed or lost or something like that, and have to be rescued or something.
And what you just mentioned about different factions, and me and Devesh noticed that too, where like literally there are camps now. Like there's a whole you can see watchtowers, and there's like a complete bases. Basically, they're bases
Yeah,
for mules and
I wanted a lot of that more stuff in the first one, more like
yeah.
more calm stuff that you're dealing with, and maybe even creating and setting up, and
I
or
think
at
I
least
think we're
assist.
getting more of that in this one for sure.
Because it would be cool if he did a little bit of like you have like you remember that clip where they just have the tents, pop up tents kind of thing. So you have like maybe a small encampment, and maybe you can use those too. But you have that kind of thing, and then you
Hmm.
donate, and then it grows.
Yeah.
Like you would actually have a size limit to how big it could get, but you could maybe create a more defensive thing or whatever, or at least donate it to the point where they can actually just have a prepper building rather than just living nomadic or whatever.
It's interesting you bring up tents because me and David, I don't know if you've seen those pictures. I might have to send it to you, but Kojima went to the volume. You know what the volume
Yeah,
is?
yeah. That's what I was talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
since they're in the volume pictures.
Yes,
Yeah,
so I think we're also getting a camping thing. We literally as Sam can put a
yeah.
tent.
Fingers crossed with that, because
Yes, tents.
I want that, and then maybe doing like I said previously the last time we were talking, like an
Yes.
Oasis type system with that.
Yes. Day
I,
and
I
night cycle too.
Yes, the other thing I would like to see is not just that type of a tent, but a wall tent or
Yes.
a mountain tent, so you could actually climb and have like your stamina deplete, and then be able to sit and rest, maybe drink something,
Something,
and
yeah, just chill.
hang out,
Yeah, hang out.
look out into the distance, go into first person, just chill, take some pictures,
Light
and
a
then
bonfire,
keep
chill.
on keep on climbing after that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they have those. That's a thing that climbers use.
Yes, and the fact the shot of that mountaintop where
Hmm.
you're like you're at the summit the whole camping thing could be a big thing. And also in one of the videos he posted behind the scenes, the guy who voices Dollman in Japanese said something like, "Oh, they're outside the tent." That's what he was recording. So Sam is definitely inside the tent. So that's something that I'm really excited about, just to set up a tent and have like a nice bonfire and just put on some music, have Dollman dance next to you, and just chill outside the tent. It'll be fun. But yeah, I'm loving where I think that's why he's holding a lot of his cards close to his chest, gameplay wise, because I think there's gonna be some batshit crazy things happening gameplay wise. But yeah, moving on with the next shot.
See,
It
environmental stuff. Oh no, there's words. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says the final journey with the dead. With the dead is definitely implying Lou is dead. Right, because that's the shot of Lou. So the final journey with the dead. That's a clue again, but he's giving it's too on the nose for Kojima too. Like he keeps telling you Lou is dead, Lou is dead, Lou is dead.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
probably gonna be end up.
One of the weird things that I'm curious about, if what is it? If BB is BB Lou is Sam's kid, and I think there was this whole notion of Amelie like giving Lucy nightmares to kill herself. It's like I don't know if it's like it messed her up and killed herself, or she saw the future and she had to kill herself to save everyone. So it's like no, she has to do this catalyst to affect Sam in this specific way, and actually to help her kid turn into this goddess
Yeah.
that is tomorrow. So
Yeah, interesting.
the only way to actually save her was to kind of turn her into that
Yeah.
weird being or whatever. But yeah,
Next few shots, of course, are gameplay without UX UI, just showing the environment, Sam walking, the different kind of suits and attachments that you have.
which I hope
Reminds me of
a lot-
Afghanistan from Phantom Pain.
Sorry, Devesh, you're cutting off. What did you say?
So I was saying this area reminds me of Afghanistan from Phantom Pain.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
All these environments are just stunning. Like
they're really good. Yeah, I
beautiful.
hope hope we see more suits.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Suits and attachments,
Um,
and whatnot. Even though that a lot of his stuff seems like they're part of the suit, like his power legs and stuff seem like they're built in.
yeah, they're built in. Um, I love the forest shot. It's nice, lush. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the jungle forest thing.
Yes. Then we're heading towards a distribution center with like a vast sea on the other side. There are a lot of rivers. Then that shot of two different kinds of waters flowing within. Like there's already a body of water which is blue.
Yeah, that
And
looks
then
like a
there's
flash flood.
then there's a flash flood, and that water mixes. That tech itself is very impressive when it comes to
Yeah,
game development,
yeah.
like mixing two different kind of
Yeah,
liquids together.
fluid dynamics.
Fluid dynamics. It's
I'm curious if that's like a dynamic or just a set captured
Yeah,
thing. So it's always going to look the
a set piece.
same way every time
Mm.
it happens.
I think it's going to be dynamic. These things are going to be very dynamic this time. The
Well,
environment.
the thing is they could record it or like capture it dynamic initially, and then have it just do the dynamic thing again. But it's the same thing. And then technically they could do three takes of
Variations.
dynamic, and then just choose which ones they're running. And technically they could do some weird like breaking it up and blending it so that it even be more dynamic
Makes
looking
sense.
rather than it being specifically.
Makes sense. Now we see the forest fires.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Do you think lightning is going to be creating that?
I think so. It's because it hit that car. Imagine Sam gets hit by one.
It broke the glass.
Yes. It did.
It broke the glass.
It broke
Yeah.
the glass, or no? It just it left
It
like a
did
mark.
something.
It left a mark on there.
Okay.
Also, on the right hand side building, at the very start of the shot, it says asadas, and that's Mexican. Spanish, carne asada is like the beef.
Because there is some lightning happening in the sandstorm.
Yes, there's a sandstorm with lightning, and then it hits the
So I
car. This
wonder
is
if there's,
definitely
like,
Mexico.
weird dynamic chain reaction thing where the sandstorm, if there's dry stuff and if an area has drought, then it will actually cause the fire. And then after that happens, then maybe timefall might happen, and then it regrows the area, and then it's less likely to catch on fire, and does some
Yeah.
weird like
It
moving.
triggers Sam's hood.
Yes, it does. It does. The next shot, of course, the Carolium bursting up. The next one is like
Yes.
amphibious vehicle. Just
I want to say that's the tri-bike, and it just has a feature to move its tires out and then open up the wheels.
Yeah. It's like a paddle.
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah. But the wheels just have that feature that it turns into that. So you can be driving and then go into water or tar and then keep on going.
Keep on going. Automatic.
Which I wanted. I wanted some kind of a hover vehicle kind of a thing, so you could do that at end game. So that's kind of close to that.
Yes.
I assume that's not going to be initial
Probably
thing.
not. Probably not. You gotta work for it.
It's probably like level 3 of that bike or something like that, maybe.
Yeah. And we see Magellan in the back, just chilling. Next
Transporting bodies.
Bodies is still there. Avalanches, for sure.
I wish there was more transporting the bodies in the first one. To be honest. There's, I think, only 2 reasons to do it, right?
Yeah.
Besides actually killing people.
We see the next one is the distribution center with Ash Device, as Device mentioned, automated public assistance company APAC on there. Not Bridges. The new Cupid shot. I love the effects, by the way.
Do you guys think Bridges is gone? Like it doesn't exist anymore?
I think so. UCA was also everyone just
I
took
think,
their own thing.
I think so.
Yeah, go ahead.
In one of the scenes in the trailer, where a vehicle is being manufactured or something, we see the logo of Fragile Express.
Yes.
What I feel is that the APAC has taken over the United States and it has, let's say, acquired or bought companies, smaller companies like Fragile Express.
Yes.
Right.
Made it draw.
Yeah,
Made
because
it
they
draw
have the
bridge.
tech, they have the resources and everything.
Big fish eat little fish.
Yes,
It's-
basically,
it's-
basically,
it's-
that's what it is.
Exactly,
So
because it's a private corporation.
yeah,
Yeah,
the new Cupid
there's some
shot,
sort of
you can
incentive that they might be
see
having.
when you see Dollman in that shot, Sam is wearing a camouflage.
I would assume Bridges was a private corporation too.
It
right?
was.
It just was attached
It was
to the government
Mhm.
because of the president. It was
Correctly.
president's company.
Literally named Bridges, yeah. But yeah, like that suit is definitely camouflage. Then we see the amazing actor from Korea.
Yeah, it's white camouflage or
Yes,
gray, right?
gray camouflage. Yeah.
Interesting.
Great camouflage.
Also,
Which that's like what is it? That's usually when it's that color, it's dealing with,
Phantom pain.
yeah, factory,
well, it's dealing with
metal,
not
not
what is it
natural
called?
environment, right?
not yeah. What is that called? It's industrial
Concrete.
or
Industrial concrete.
Concrete, yeah.
yeah. There's a more appropriate word I
Yeah,
can't think
yeah.
of right now, but yes, yeah.
Also, the next shot, the Korean actor, right? Isn't 347 the Halo company? 347 Industries? Oh no, that was 343.
343.
That was 343. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, okay. The holograms look way more formed, way more high quality, right? I don't think he's actually there. That's a hologram, right? Or is that no? That is a hologram. Yeah.
When the Korean
That's hologram.
guy hologram.
Yeah,
Is
the
that what
Korean
you-
guy. Yeah. The actor.
Yeah,
I'm forgetting
yeah,
his
I-
name. He's a really,
Yeah.
really good
Yeah, I
actor.
want to say that is a hologram.
Yeah, that is a hologram. You can see.
I just want to say that
Dongle?
wherever he's at, they've got a good signal, good chiral.
Oh
chiral
yeah, yeah.
signal.
We have connected
Yeah.
it properly.
Thanks to APAC.
Yeah,
Bridges was running on bare bone budgets.
yeah. Okay, let's kind of speed through the next few shots. It's
Those
basically
look
from
like
the first.
Holographic charms for the baby, maybe.
Yes,
Is that what
yes,
it looks like?
that's what
Yeah.
it was. We saw them in the first trailer as the real ones, but the next one was holographic. Same.
I wonder if that's going to be something you put BB down and then have the holograms.
have the holograms like a toy
of-
for her to play.
Yeah, while she's in the pod, kind of thing.
I really hope. I don't want to spoil too much for Devesh because Devesh hasn't played any of the Metal Gear Solid games, but I really hope the ship is explorable like it was in Metal Gear Solid 4. You know?
The ship was
Explorable in the sense you could see what was happening through cameras, right? On different rooms of the ship in Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
So
yeah.
I hope this is
ha-
more explorable with everyone's rooms and the different things, and people are doing like you walk into a room and you could see someone doing something weird and something like that.
Yeah, I want to say if you took what we got from the our shelters in the first game, where you could do like interesting stuff, the cameras and how Sam would react to those situations or looking at the mirror, you would just have little vignettes of cool little skit that they would do, and probably just Hideo said just react, walk in the room, react to him, walk in the room, do it again, react different, walk in the room, react different.
Yeah.
Like, and then maybe handing them different weird props or them faking props, and then maybe they actually gave them something to track the notion of them actually using something. But
yeah, it'll be interesting. They could do a lot with that.
But
yeah,
it'd be fun if he did homages with it to stuff too.
I'm sure there are going to be Easter eggs. That's for sure from these different actors. Yeah, the next few shots is like basically from the first trailer where Fragile gets hit and Lou. Their dialogues about her trying to transport both of them to a different beach doesn't happen. The whole army people are behind her. That she ends up only teleporting Lou, and then apparently she gets shot. I don't know if she got shot. How the hell is she alive?